Hello guys, today I'm gonna show you how to do this snow blend between your rock and even have moss and sand. So first we're gonna do the snow one, and the snow is pretty similar to sand, so you can use the material function we're gonna do for the sand and the snow, because usually sand or snow are coming from the top to the bottom, and moss are different. They're coming and like growing from the bottom, so from the ground to the top. Okay, so here I have two rocks, so they're both coming from Megascan. This one's using a simple texture simple right there, and so this one's using the Megascan material of the rock, so the one right there. So first we're gonna go in our content folder, and I'm gonna make a new folder. So you can make a new folder. I already have one, and we're gonna make a material function. So I'm gonna call that mf send. So there's gonna be underscore send as well, and so I'm gonna open that right there. So first thing we have to do is we're gonna texture objects right there, and I'm gonna copy and paste that 2 times. So we have 3 of those. So this one is gonna be, so I'm gonna add a reroute node like this. This one's gonna be base color, and this one's gonna be the ORD, and this one's gonna be the normal. Okay, so now I have texture. I already have a snow texture, I believe. Yeah, right there. But if you don't have any snow texture, you can just look for snow material right there, and just look for anything you want. Just download it, and you're gonna have the same texture. I mean, 3 of the textures, so the base color, the ORD, and the normal. And here I'm gonna add my ORD snow texture. This one's gonna be the normal right there. So here we have our 3 texture. Now we're gonna do a texture scale. So I'm gonna add a function input. So this one's gonna be a scalar. His name's gonna be texture scale, and I'm gonna add a reroute node and name it texture scale. So we're gonna use that later. Okay, so now we're gonna add a wall align texture right there, and we're gonna add 3 of those right there. So the first one's gonna be the base color. So I'm gonna take the base color reroute node. This one's gonna be the ORD, and this one's gonna be the normal. Like this. And now, just to make sure we have the same texture scale on all of those, I'm gonna take the texture scale reroute nodes we just made before. Right there. And so I'm gonna copy and paste. Okay. So now we actually gonna add a multiply node right there. We're gonna take the X, Y, and Z axis texture, and we're gonna plug that into A. And now I'm gonna add a function input. And so this one's gonna be, so it's gonna be a scalar, and that's gonna be the brightness of our base color in case we wanna change the brightness of the snow. So right there, and now we're gonna add a make. make material attributes right there, and I'm gonna plug the base color in the base color. Now right there, so in the ORD, I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna add a break float tree right there. I'm gonna add the OR into the ambient occlusion, the G into the roughness, and I won't touch that one for now on. And so right there, I'm gonna take the same X, Y, and Z texture, and I'm gonna plug that into the normal. Okay, so now I can take my output result, and I'm gonna plug that into the output result right there. Now we can apply, save, and we can go back in our content folder. And now we're gonna make another material function, but this one's gonna be the modifier. So the modifier will help us to get our material attributes. So let's say this one. So we're getting material attributes right there, and we're gonna add a modifier right there. So we're gonna take that into the modifier, take the result, and plug it into the outputs. So it's just a simple way to modify and just a quick way of doing it. So here I'm gonna go in my content folder, I'm gonna go in my material function. I'm gonna call that m of underscore add snow or send. I'm gonna open it, and so now I'm gonna actually add my material function layer snow and send right there. Add the function input right there. So this one's gonna be our material attribute right there. Now we gotta get a get material attributes like so. I'm gonna add one. That's gonna be the normal. We're gonna add a blend material. Okay, so now we're gonna add a blend material. We're gonna take the material attribute. We're gonna plug that into A, and we're gonna take the snow layer and so blend this and plug that into the B right there. Okay, so now we want to use a material parameter collection. So I'm gonna make one. So it's just a simple, an easier way of changing value for the direction of where is coming the snow or the sand. So I'm gonna go in material. I'm gonna look for material parameter collection, and I'm gonna call that mpc underscore snow or add snow. And now I'm gonna bring that here, right there. And I'm gonna first open my material collection, parameter collection. I'm gonna add a vector parameter. So right there, and I'm gonna rename that to snow. Or you can name that to sen, if that's a sen material function. And I'm gonna hit save, go back to my material function, and I'm gonna select snow right there. So I'm gonna add a mask component right there, just to make sure we have all channel. Now I'm gonna normalize that, make sure we have between 0 and 1 value. I'm gonna add a dot product to see the similarity from both in B. Now I'm gonna take the normal right there. I'm gonna add a transform. So a transform vector. I'm gonna add alert node. Transform vector is gonna be in A. Now I'm gonna bring a vertex normal right there. I'm gonna add the vector vertex normal into B, and I'm gonna add another dot product right there. I'm gonna plug that into A, and I'm gonna take a constant tree, holding tree and left click, and I'm gonna add a value of 1 into the axis right there. And this one's gonna be plugged into the B socket of the dot product. I'm gonna saturate that to make sure we have positive value, and power that to add a contrast to it right there. So I'm gonna add a function input, function input. So this one's gonna be a scalar, and so that's gonna be the top snow contrast. And so we can plug that into the alpha. And now we're gonna plug the lerp into the B of the dot product. Now we're gonna add a power node. So this one's gonna be our, like, the snow contrast overall. So I'm gonna add a function input. So this one's gonna be a scalar. It's gonna be a snow contrast. Plug that here. Saturate, make sure we have positive value. And now I'm gonna plug this into the alpha socket. I'm gonna add another blend material attribute right there. And so I'm gonna take this one into the B. I'm gonna take this one from our base material attribute. So right there. And now I'm gonna take a scalar. So I'm gonna add a function input. This one's gonna be a scalar, and this one's gonna be our snow amounts. Right there, I'm gonna plug that into the alpha. So basically control how much snow we want, if we don't want to have any snow or just a little bit, or if you want to blend all the snow. So now we're gonna plug that into the output result. And yeah, we need to add 2 more function inputs. So make sure we can control the texture scale and the brightness as well. So right there, scalar. First one's gonna be brightness. Second one's gonna be texture scale. Plug that right there. Plug that right there. And just to make sure, I want to have this one. So I'm gonna call that material, or I'm just gonna call that MA. And I want to have this one on top of the material function. So I'm gonna type -1. Hit enter, apply, save, and there we go. So first, I'm gonna add this material function into this this basic rock. So I'm gonna go there. So in is material right there, and so I'm gonna bring my my modifier material function. So we can actually even rename the name of the material, because that's a modifier. So here, so now I can take the material attribute right there and plug it right there. So we can add a switch parameter in case we don't want, or if we want to use that. So his name is going to be use add snow right here. So we use the modifier in true, and we don't use, so just use the simple texture sample in false. And we're gonna plug that there, and just to make sure the default value is on. Okay, so now we're gonna add the parameter. So to add parameter, we can simply right click and promote to parameter. Okay, so now I'm gonna hit apply, save. And so now, if I'm looking for this material, I'm gonna look for the material. I'm gonna right click on it, create material instance. I'm gonna name that as mi underscore basalt for here. I need to make sure first, so I need to go back here, use the material parameter collection. So you can find that here in the folder, or you can just simply go in your material function folder we made before and open that. And here, so that should be the default value. And here is RGB, which is X, Y, Z. And so we want to take the Z value and use a 1 value to make sure the snow is coming from top to down. And not so if I put this to -1, the snow is going to come from below to top. And here, if I put a value of 1 in the X or the R channel, the snow is going to come from right to left. And if I have this, that's going to be diagonal. And so here I'm going to use 1 value and 0 everywhere. So here I'm going to save. Now I'm going to go here, and I just want to make sure I use my material instance as the material for the mesh. So right there, I use my material instance. Now I'm going to open my material instance so we can change the value. So here is the switch button. So if you want to use or not use it, here is the brightness. I'm going to use a 1 value, the snow amount. So I'm going to increase it to, let's say, 1 right there. And that's the contrast. It's just the contrast basically. And so if I have a contrast of 0 and a lot of snow, like this, I can change or see better the texture scale. So if I have 1 texture scale size or 100. So you see you have smaller texture, and here you have a bigger texture. And the snow top contrast is, I mean, as you can see, you see it more when you have more detail like that, but it's just increase the non snow on top. Okay, so now if you want to add sand or use sand, you can either just go to the material function, and you can like go here and duplicate this. And so the first one is not gonna be snow and sand, but it's gonna be snow. And so the second one's gonna be only layer sand. So you wanna have like a material function for your snow layer and for the sand layer. So yeah, this one's gonna be like the snow, because we use a texture of snow. And so I'm gonna rename his modifier as well to snow. And so I wanna duplicate also this one and rename this to not snow but sand, like this. So now we have both layer and both modifier. So now I'm gonna go there, and I actually gonna unplug the roughness, because I mean first we're gonna look for a sand texture. So I already have one, but if you don't have any sand texture, you can go in Quicksolve Bridge and just find one from Megascan. So that's gonna be the sand RG. I'm gonna use the base color because I don't have one, and I'm gonna use a normal right there. So here I don't want to use the roughness because I don't want my sand to be wet. I want my sand to be dry. And here I'm gonna apply that, save. Now I want to go in my mod sand, so this one over there. And so I don't want to use layer snow, I want to use layer sand right there. And so that's gonna be his brightness, and the result's gonna go in here, and now I'm gonna hit apply, save, and so if I go here and my result right there, as you can see, if I add my modifier, so right there, not the snow but the sand, plug that here, and we actually need to as well change the name, so that's gonna be top sand, and sand contrast, sand amount, and we actually gonna rename that so you don't have similar parameter, and I'm gonna hit apply, save. So I'm gonna take this, plug that here, and now I want to create and promote to parameter all of this like so. Okay, so now you can use a switch as well for that, or you can even use a switch to use snow or sand. And now I'm gonna hit apply, save. Now I go back there, and so I need to open my material instance again, and now in sand amount I can increase the sand. Just want to have a brightness of 1 before using, and here I can, so I'm gonna have like this, and maybe increase this contrast like this, so I have like a sandy rock right now. So now if you wanna, we're gonna do the same but for the mouse. So the mouse is gonna be different because how mouse work in real life. We're gonna try to get like a realistic result with the material function. So first we're gonna make a new material function, and so this one's gonna be mf underscore mouse layer, and we're gonna open that. So that's gonna be basically the same as before, so for the layer at least. So we're gonna go there, and we're gonna just take everything right there, copy, go there in mouse layer, and we're gonna paste that right there, and we wanna make sure we have roughness right there. So yeah, I do want to delete this, and here is my brightness, and here we're gonna take most, you can download it like before on a Quixel bridge, and download anything which is looking like mouse texture. So I'm gonna take this one, which I already downloaded, and here, and the normal right there. Okay, so now I'm gonna hit apply, save, and I'm gonna go back to my content drawer, and I'm gonna right click, look for material function, mf underscore so it's going to be mod for modify add and mouse right there. I'm gonna open that one, and now so we're still gonna copy and paste everything from the last material function. So so let's take the snow right there, but we're gonna change some of that. So I'm gonna copy, I'm gonna go in my modifier add mouse right there, I'm gonna paste that, and now so we want to change this over here. So this, I mean, we don't need this right now. we actually gonna remove everything to here. And even this to here. And now we're gonna take a wall position right now. So absolute wall position. Now we're gonna take this mask to the B channel. So the Z channel. Now we're gonna divide this to a parameter. So this one's gonna be the height of the mouse. So height. And I'm gonna plug that right there. Now I wanna make sure I only have positive value. So I'm gonna get absolute node. I'm gonna saturate. And I'm gonna use the 1 minus to invert that. And now I'm gonna plug that into, so I actually need to, not remove, but just use that and multiply, so this by this right now. And so we're gonna plug that here, and now we have the good function. So now I'm gonna hit apply, save. We actually gonna rename all the input. So it's gonna be the mouse brightness. It's gonna be the mouse material attributes. This one I don't want a parameter, but I want a function input. So it's gonna be scalar, and that's gonna be mouse height right here. This one's gonna be mouse contrast, mouse amount, and right there I'm gonna delete that and use that right there. And so yeah, I need to use the layer, of course, of the mouse layer we just made before. So I'm gonna plug that here, and plug that in B right there. So here I'm gonna actually delete this because we don't need this anymore. Delete this material function input. And in here, so we're gonna need to go back to the material parameter collection right there. And so we're gonna add one more. So you can add as well a send if you don't want to have a send coming from the same direction as no. But I believe two from a realistic point of view are coming from top to down. So that's why I'm only using one right there. And so this one is gonna be, so the most direction right there. And so I'm gonna use the value here as 1 right there. And so now I'm actually gonna go back to my so simple material right there. I'm gonna take all of this, drag it right there. I'm gonna unplug that, and now I'm gonna call my so modifier material function I just made. So the most one right there. So right there, I'm gonna plug that here, and I do have two outputs. Guess I forget to save. And here, I'm gonna plug that here, right there. And I'm gonna do all the parameter like we did before. I'm gonna hit apply, save, So actually, there, we're gonna rename the material parameter collection to MPC add modifier, or just add. Okay, and so here, so we have the mouse direction and the snow. We're gonna rename that to underscore and send there, and I'm gonna save direction. Okay, and so now right there, just make sure you have the correct MPC select and the parameter name as well. Right there. So the mouse direction. And so now if I go there and I use my my material instance right there. So I can increase the height of mouse right there. So I'm gonna take a brightness of 1. You can increase it to have like brighter or darker. So I'm gonna use 1 as value. And now I'm gonna increase his height right there and his contrast to just make it more realistic. And I guess I'm gonna bump this to the top and decrease his contrast to have like a realistic mouse on this rock. So I think that's it. I'm just gonna show you how you can do it. It's very simple on Megascan asset, I mean material. So in this one right there, I'm gonna click on material instance. I'm gonna go to the master material, which is the parent right here. So here I'm gonna look for my so I'm gonna add like let's say the moss for this one, or maybe the snow right there. I'm gonna take this, plug it right there, this right there, right there. And yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna split that right there. I'm gonna get it apply. And now, if I go in this material right there, so here I'm gonna change this value. I think right now I have the snow direction on the wrong direction. So here my material parameter collection, and in snow direction, yeah, it's 1 minus minus 1, and I'm gonna use thermal 1, which should be 1 and not minus 1. So here I'm gonna go back to my material instance of Quixel Megascan material, and here that's the snow amount. So if I wanna have, I mean, I'm gonna use a contrast of 0 first, and so I can control how much snow I want. And here's the top snow contrast, so it's just add more contrast to the non-snow, and texture scale and brightness. So guys, thanks for watching me. I hope this tutorial just helped you, and leave a like and comment if you like this tutorial and want more. Bye, thank you.